This is how an action game is supposed to be. It's supposed to feel like you are the action. Remember back in the days when you would watch an action movie and as soon as the movie finished, you would proceed to do all of the moves in that movie on your younger sibling? Every kung fu move you learned while watching that film, you had to practice those moves in real life. And this was typically followed by a swift kick by one of your parents. So I didn't just get my moves from action movies, but I actually got most of my moves from video games. And one of those games is the classic, the legendary classic, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master. A game that I still remember fondly till this day. So it was to my shock and awe when I realized that the same guys over at Lizard Cube who resurrected Streets of Rage in the form of Streets of Rage 4, also a fantastic game that I actually had the opportunity to complete with my two daughters, was actually in cahoots with Sega to bring forth another Shinobi game. I have conquered said game, and here are my thoughts. Welcome to my studio. My name is Jabu. I am a lifelong artist, lifelong gamer who loves to talk about the visuals in games. The work that you see being made while watching this video is actually work that I am making with these hands. If you are a person that appreciates art and would like to see it being made while I ramble on about the beauty in these video games that we all love, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And welcome to the community. I love being goofy on this camera, can't help it. So Shinobi has a special place in my heart because it was a game that I played ad nauseum as a younger kid. And one of the things that I remember about Shinobi 3, The Return of the Ninja Master, was precisely the fact that it made me feel like a ninja while I was playing. I mean, the point of playing a game is to engulf you in its immersion to the point where you feel like the role that you're playing. And as a kid, running through the bamboo forest as a badass ninja felt incredibly powerful. And this happens to be the same feeling that I got from playing The Art of Revenge. So here are a couple of things that I absolutely loved about the visuals in this game. This game has a way of presenting its background in such an impactful way because of its hand-drawn style. I get the sense that I am still seeing the very sketch lines that were utilized to create the concept art in the very beginning of the development of the game. Our boy Joe Musashi running through those bamboo fields hit me with a huge wave of nostalgia. In fact, as I stated in my last video, I actually went and got the Sega Genesis collection on the PS4 just to play Shinobi 3, The Return of the Ninja Master. And the game is still bloody good. That very same feeling of feeling like a badass ninja is replicated so well here. In fact, I would say it does it even better than Shinobi 3, my favorite Shinobi game. So it's very cool to see levels that you remember playing as a child get upgraded and recreated to such a beautiful scale. I mean, I'm playing on this gigantic screen behind me, and to see the subtle details of leaves falling on the ground or snow gently falling over such beautiful scenery, it's, as I love to say, it warms my heart. There are times when I would be in a certain environment and I would literally just stop playing and have the idle animations entertain me for a good 5 minutes. Every time this happens in a game and I am mesmerized, I have to take note. I have to take note because the developers have done something very special. In such a busy, chaotic world, that developer has achieved the power of captivating to the point where I feel like I am in a trance. Like I literally would stop all of the badasseriness and just like zone in on the amazing details. And the cool thing about the environments is that there are so many of them, right? So Shinobi 3 did have varying environments, which I think was a good thing even back then. But I feel like The Art of Revenge has more. Because the game went from essentially being a stage-based game in terms of progression to more of a Metroidvania style game, I felt like exploring around these environments felt more impactful because I was actually looking for secrets. So when you're stuck looking for treasure and looking for items that can assist you beat ass, you tend to pay way more attention to the fine, minute details that make up such lush environments. And I think it's fantastic. The whole point of me making these videos is to tell you what inspires me to make art in the first place. And games have a lot to do with it. And games like this really, really inspire me to pick up the stylus and keep going. No prompting ever, just straight up hand action. Feels great. And the environments in this game should be studied. If you're an artist, look at these environments. And here's the thing, you do not have to be a 2D artist. I feel like a lot of artists nowadays, they get caught up in what kind of artist they are. True artists know that you're just an artist and you can pull inspiration from anywhere. In fact, you will probably be more inspired by styles that look nothing like your own, because that's what usually happens to me. So speaking of styles, one of the things that really bring this game to life is the hand-drawnness of it. The folks over at Lizard Cube knows how to use a hand-drawn art style so effectively by stringing all of these frames together in such a way that feels very fluent and believable at the same time, that I believe that this directly translates to my enjoyment of a player. And it is a very, very important thing to accomplish. Most games, I don't think, accomplish this. So when I see a developer really take the art in their game seriously and put that at the forefront, it makes me feel honored as an artist. And another thing that I really admire, apart from the environments and the beautiful style, is actually the use of color in the game. Man, and I know I talk about the use of color all the time. It is something that I must study. My eyes must remain wide open so I can learn how one color interacts with the next. And the thing about The Art of Revenge that I can't get over is how saturated and gorgeous it all flows together. They do the thing where you have one prominent color followed by beautiful secondary colors. It's a simple rule, but it's very hard to follow when you're making artwork, especially when you have every single color under the sun available to you. So it's not just the hand-drawn environments and the beautiful sketch lines that make up everything, but precisely paying attention to where you put your colors in the level really, really do a good job of framing what you're supposed to be looking at. And that's why I feel like when you are doing your combos as Joe Musashi, at any given time, you can clearly tell where you are and where all of the enemies are, because this beautiful use of color also translates to not only the character you're playing as, but also the enemies. Based off of this ingenious use of color, you can clearly identify who needs to be taken down. So one particular place where I really love the use of this color is how it animates over Joe Musashi no matter what environments he's in. And it's something very subtle. One of the best animations this game has to offer is so badass. That is simply the running animation. The running animation of Joe Musashi just running along these levels reflect his surrounding light. And I know a lot of people They probably don't realize or notice this while they're playing, but it actually adds to your immersion. While Joe Musashi is running through these environments, if he runs under something that casts a shadow, you see that on his character model in real time. And I think that's one of the advantages of more modern games versus sprite-based games. Because sprite-based games, no matter what color is emitting from the surrounding environments, you're hard-pressed to see that really reflected on your character. The fact that they pay that much attention to it here, I think it is deserving of accolations, of praise, if you will. I gotta stop using these big words. I've been playing Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and my vocabulary has gone through the roof. So much reading, so much good reading. Anyway, so the combat animations of Joe Musashi really make you feel like you are skilled, you know what you're doing, and you have pupils that you teach because you are the master. I felt like I was the ninja master. And to top it off, our main character, Joe Musashi, only says one word in the entire game. That's all he said. Because they know in this game, The Art of Revenge, your sword is the stylus, and those enemies are the canvas. And you will make quick work of them in a beautiful fashion. A beautiful fashion. So I talked about the running animation, and I must call out how good it feels to traverse in this game. Yes, there's certain platforming segments that can be a little frustrating, but for the most part, when you're moving around as Joe Musashi, you feel agile. You feel like you have your dexterity stat all the way up. Flips, kicks, wall runs, and pretty much every finisher coming out of whatever motion animation really works. And I really admire how the game's combat looks so well on the backdrop of its environment. I can't stress that enough. Sometimes you might play a 2D game and there's just so much going on. In fact, not even a 2D game, any game. There's so much visual clutter that you are literally lost while you're playing the game, right? And honestly, that's what kind of happened in Streets of Rage 4. I remember playing with my daughter, and after a point, because there was so much on the screen, I couldn't tell what was what. And maybe that's because it's more chaotic when you have multiple players. Because that game was very beautiful as well. But I just feel like they did a much better job of clarity in Shinobi, The Art of Revenge. Man, I just felt so powerful. Another thing that I really appreciate about this game is actually the way the game presents its characters in their 2D portraits. I love the character design in this game. It has a very Joe Madureira comic book vibe about it, and I can eat it up all day. I just love looking at each and every one of the characters and how they're drawn. And I think this is a very important thing that a lot of games, they kind of leave in the conceptual development or the conceptual stage of their game's development. So the fact that we get to see sketches of the characters that literally look like the concept sketches, I think that should be commended. One of my favorite things is when you're about to fight a boss and they decide to show you the black and white drawing of the boss that you're about to fight. And the reason why I love this is because you can see the different variations just in its presentation of the boss that you're gonna fight. So you see the black and white image. Then you're gonna see the color image of when they're talking shit right before you fight them. And then you get to see their actual animations while you are about to conquer whichever idiot, moron, is brave enough to go up against the master, Joe Musashi. Like, Joe Musashi is so badass, man. And this respect for the hand-drawn art is not only in the actual game, it is also the very vehicle used to present its narrative elements. Another super smart decision. And I honestly wish more games would utilize putting actual art in their game. And I know a lot of games are 3D nowadays, but I have to fall back on some of these 2D games like Unicorn Overlord just to see that hand touch in the game, right? Because it reminds me of my own struggles. dealing with composition, dealing with making something look beautiful, even though you know it might just drive you a little bit insane. Seeing that insanity embedded in the passion in these games, it really encourages me to keep making work. I can't stop blabbering about it. I'm sorry. Imagine being a ball player and seeing Jordan, LeBron, or the legendary Kobe playing ball. It's gonna inspire you. So that's the similar thing that I get from video games. Every game is like a work of art, right? So that's why I don't play bad games. I only play stuff I like. And I suggest you do the same thing too. Okay, here are a few cons that I don't like about this game, right? And these are nitpicks because in general, I really, really appreciated this game. I appreciated the game a lot more than I thought I would. One of the things that really bugged me was actually the map. I didn't like the map. I think they could have done better on the map. I know it's kind of simplistic and you got your icons and, you know, all of the standard stuff, but I feel like they could have went a little bit further with the map. And one of the most irritating parts about the map is that this is a Metroidvania game. So when I push the map button, the map does not focus on where Joe Musashi is, i.e. you. It focuses on the first selected area on the list of area you can teleport to. And it was annoying because every single time you pull up the map, you have to refocus on Joe Musashi to get your bearings on where you should go. And I think that was a misstep. Another thing that, you know, can kind of get on people's nerves is the fact that amongst all of this grandiose, this beautiful, this luscious, this colorful goodness, is sometimes projectiles have a tendency to get lost in the sauce. So sometimes you're like zipping around doing your ninja thing and then you'll get shot with a bullet or some enemy ninja star or shuriken. And it really sucks when out of your peripheral you can't see it because there's so much stuff going on that it kind of blends in with the background, which is a nitpick because, I mean, it didn't really hinder my enjoyment of the game. It was just a little annoying. That's all. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some frustrating parts in this game, especially if you're trying to do the challenges. It can get really frustrating. Now, whether the juice is worth the squeeze of those challenges is up to you. I feel like you should play it until you're not having a good time and then move on to something else. That's how I tend to play games. If I'm not having fun, I'm just gonna move on to something else. I literally got to the last level of Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and I am yet to finish the game. I am gonna go back and finish it. But the thing about Ninja Gaiden is you have to be a lot more precise. There's a lot less leeway than there is in Shinobi. And some people might like that, but I like looking like a badass. I like feeling like I'm playing a fighting game, which I'm not good at, and I'm doing combos that make me look like I know what I'm doing. It makes me look like I was in the lab practicing combos. This is how an action game is supposed to be. It's supposed to feel like you are the action. And that's what Shinobi accomplished. Now, overall, should you get this game? Yes. Just straight up yes. Unless you don't like 2D games. If you don't like 2D games, if you're more into like, you know, RPGs and taking your time, which I am, I'm playing Pathfinder and Wrath of the Righteous, I can't stop thinking about that game, then maybe you can get it later on when it's on sale. But I want to support Lizard Cube, man. I really want them to make other Sega classics. Let's bring back Comic Zone. You guys remember Comic Zone? Does anyone remember Comic Zone? I don't know. Let them do The Legend of Oasis. That's another game that was amazing. Hell, even Light Crusader. You guys remember Light Crusader? They could probably even do an Altered Beast. That might be good. Who knows? I mean, the sky's the limit. Lizard Cube has a lot of homework. They have a lot of games to make. And I will buy every last one of them because I appreciate the fact that they appreciate art enough to make it the forefront of their game and even put it in the title. So for those of you who already forgot who I am, my name is Jabulani Ori, aka Jabu. The work that you saw being made in this video is actually for a t-shirt line that I am trying to release in the very, very near future. If you're interested in seeing my work and what I have to offer, I have a few products right here down below. Or you can simply go to my website, jahbu.com. That is simply jabu.com. I have a small selection of paintings and artwork over there that you can have a look at. Let me know what you think. Come back in the comment sections and let me know, because I actually do read the comments. I'm a microscopic YouTuber, so every comment is precious. Every thumbs up is precious. I'm out here trying to be an artist, like an actual artist. And artists need patrons. They've always needed patrons because the world is not kind to artists. Anyway, enough joking. If you are on social media and you would like to follow me on Instagram, I am simply JAHBU_ART_art. There you would find more of my artistic side, if you will, as opposed to my gaming side on YouTube. One last thing before I go. I had a poll a few weeks back on which game I should resurrect from my backlog. I had 40 votes on that poll. I thought I would get 8 votes. I had 40 votes, and the people spoke, and the people chose The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, a game that was stolen from me by my daughter. Yes, she completed about 97% of everything in the game. Took her almost 2 years since the game first came out, because I got it day one, but I just didn't have access to the game because she took it and told me essentially that, Daddy, I'm gonna keep this game because it's so fantastic. I've never experienced anything like that in my 12 years of living. So you're gonna have to take a backseat. You're gonna have to wait and go play your Final Fantasy or your Mass Effect or your Witcher or whatever, right? And I respected it because I know how it feels to be at that age and have an appreciation for games. When I was her age, I believe it was A Link to the Past. So I would just like to say thank you to everyone who took part in that poll. You will be seeing some Tears of the Kingdom on this channel. I like to have fun. This is my recess. Now I have to get back to making art. Until next week, my wonderful people, one love, peace. And fill up the comment section with, I can't think of anything. I don't know. I was gonna say love and chicken grease, but I don't even eat chicken, so I guess love and peace. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. One love, peace. Peace out. I'm gone now. I feel like talking some more though. But nah, I'm good.